She likes 70s and 80s jams, 90s big butt rap, and will pickle you right off the court. Cruising in Croatia to just chilling at home with her girls. Riley Palmer does it all with a smile. She's on the court with me. It's the Pickle with Mickle interview series. 0, 0, start. All right, here I am, Pickle with Mickle interview series on the court with me, Riley Palmer, Smiley Riley. I mean, pump it up, right? I feel like I got to have some music just going the whole time we are here, because here I am now with Smiley Riley. We've been trying to get this set up for a long time, and safe to say, you've been a pretty busy little beaver for sure. We are going to get into all of it. But I think the first thing we have to do is what I like to do is we've got to set the stage. We got to get some back. We could spend all night talking about what you've just done and a lot of the things that you're going to be doing. But let's set the stage a little bit, Riley. You're looking great tonight anyways. And I mean, that's the first thing. I mean, Friday night, two socialites like us making time for the Pickle with Mickle interview series. I appreciate it, right? And so, as I mentioned, you've got a lot going on in your own Pickleverse. And let's go back to really how it started, because when it did start, it took off a little bit. And now you are doing amazing things. But take me back to when you found pickleball and how it really all got started. Want the whole story, any athletic childhood background stories that come along with it. Bring it all.
Oh, I wish my dad was here to share his favorite athletic story about me. Okay, sweet. Well, normally Friday nights, I would be at Trader Joe's or at Sprouts because they have a really great like 70s rock playlist. And it's very quiet in there, and it's like a space away from the chaos. So this works. I can go later. Awesome. They'll be open till 9. So thank you.
Yeah, you can get there.
Yeah. So my pickleball, I started playing like probably 5 years ago with a group of girlfriends, and their husbands would come play. I wouldn't even call it playing though. Like, it's really pretty funny when I think about what we did on the court, because we were like, right now we dance on the court a lot. We would like stop and do yoga and like throw a frisbee, and there was no kitchen. Like, I didn't know what non-volley zone meant, but I knew it was fun. And it's so crazy because it was here at Horizon Park. I think we only had 4 courts back then.
Oh, wow.
And there was nobody there. Like, we had the place to ourselves, which was great. But I started playing, and I was like, well, this is really fun. And my friends seemed very untalented. We were having a great time, and I was like, I need to learn rules. Like, I know there is something to this game more. And so I didn't have a lot of time to play at that time because I was a mom of 3 kids, 3 girls, and I was like running Sunday school, and I was a Girl Scout troop leader, and I was in the PTO. And then all of a sudden, someone called it something that I love. They said a life, if I could think of what the word, it was just like a reboot happened. So here you are, married 21 years, and it just comes to a halt. Yeah. And all of a sudden, I don't have my kids all the time, which was awful. Like, it was really, really hard. So I was like, this pickleball place is pretty cool. So I started going to the courts and filling my time with pickleball. And it was like my space away from all of the chaos, all of that other stuff. And I would go to the courts, and I fell in love with like all the people. I remember now, like, to this day, I still absolutely have so much mad respect for the people that played with me in that early days, because I know them all. They're all 4-5, 5-0 players now, and never once did they make me feel like I should not have been at those sports.
They helped you out.
In fact,
right? I mean,
yeah, they were the opposite. So welcoming.
I think that's the part of the awesome nature of pickleball, and you just hit on it a little bit. Is there you are just starting out. Now you want to find, there's got to be some structure to this game, right? I mean, I'm having a lot of fun downward dogging it out there and hitting the ball over.
Exactly.
But we got to do a little more. And as you
Yes,
started to
I did the
play a
best
little
handstands
more,
against that fence, I will tell
that's
you.
right.
Excellent.
And as you
Yeah,
started
it was
playing more, the people were
so
receptive. Yeah.
and it was like a place where like I could get away from the like if I saw my girlfriends, it was gonna be like what's going on, like how I just knew I could go there and I could banter, and it was really fun too. Like I don't want to sound bad, but I was married and with my husband for 23 years, so I actually got to like talk to guys and like
People.
joke around and laugh with them and talk with girls and just like have these really fun conversations that I never had. And we would just
Well,
laugh and it was just, I was hooked.
I think that's an important part of your story of the journey, right? I mean, you were full-time stay-at-home mom during marriage, is that right? And you're doing a lot of things.
I actually started our first company when I was
Okay.
22, started a couple
Jeez.
other companies, but the last 5 years, I was mostly just on I was mostly just on like the HR side and a little bit of
Okay.
marketing side of our companies. So had a lot of free time at that point. Well, not a lot. I was
Okay.
mothering, but yes.
Yes. But as the girls got older, and three girls, bless your heart, and what
Thank
are the
you.
spreads in the ages again? You've told me once, but go ahead and let the people know because this is important too.
Well, actually, Brighton, my middle daughter goes to school with Andre
Ah,
Mercado. They're classmates. They're in the same classes too, actually. So my youngest Shelby is 13, but she'll be 14 in December. Brighton is my middle daughter. She's named after my first passion sport of snow skiing. She'll be 16 next month. And then my oldest, who is, I'm not kidding, I will say right here, like she is an angel. I'm not even kidding you. She is 20 and she lives in Boise. And she
okay.
really like she doesn't roll her eyes at me. She doesn't talk mean to me. She's so sweet.
So you
The
guys get
other
along.
two, push it
The
a
other
little bit.
two,
Yeah,
yeah,
yeah.
forget about the other two.
Yeah, we don't need to talk about that. Let's just
Don't
talk
worry
about the
about
good.
them at
Let's talk
all.
about the good stuff. Come on.
Well, I think it's
Exactly.
important, and we're going to tie this back in here in a little bit too. I met you when I first met you is when I was talking to Andre, right? And so
Yeah.
a lot of youth pickle power right here in Arizona. And now that we kind of got the story, let's just go ahead and bring it into today because what,
Right.
2 years ago you really started teaching, maybe? Am I right in that assessment? Or when did the teaching really start? Or talk about even some of your
Yeah.
tournament play experience too.
I'll pull that through kind of quickly. So once I started learning, like everyone kept saying, get to the line. And I
Yeah,
could
get your
not figure
butt to
out
the
like,
kitchen or the line,
but
out
I
of the
was like,
kitchen.
when? Why? And then I would run up and they're like, why'd you run up? The ball went past you. I was like, so then I'm like, I gotta take lessons. Like you people are confusing me. Like the score, like how come I'm not server one the
This,
whole time? Like this is
right.
so dumb. And so I started taking lessons, and once I started taking lessons, I started picking up the game a lot, and I started wanting to drill and play more. Then I started teaching people for free, and the business minded sense of me because I had come from families of entrepreneurs. I'd started companies from the ground up, like with absolutely nothing. Um, I was like, I could turn this into a business, but I did not just like go in and certify and become like start coaching. I put an extensive amount of studying in and mentored under other coaches because typically when I do something, I want to be good at it. I want to be
Mm-hmm.
really good, and I want to make sure I'm always giving someone like a really good value. So
Okay.
I kind of took it to like the next level. And if you were to look at my Instagram feed, it is like it's all training videos. Like every top training coach, we got Zane, Tanner, all these coaches. I'm watching their videos and I'm training myself every day. So it is fun. I was out on the course. I had newly started my coaching career, I would say. And lo and behold, I see Andre out there with his dad, and it's a rainy day. And I think he had his sister with him or his mother-in-law. And they're out there with wooden paddles, and it just started drizzling. And they have like an indoor ball with like a monarch paddles. And I'm waiting for my client to show up. Actually, I was waiting for my friend Ruth to show up. And I just like walk over. I'm like, hey, can I hit around with you guys? And they're like, sure. So we're hitting, and I like the sound of the wooden paddle. I'm like, and I remember I was like, do you want to try one of these paddles? Because I had actually just been sponsored, my first sponsorship with a company called Rock Me.
Okay.
And I was really excited about it. And I was like, just try the difference. Like, it's not going to hurt your elbow. Like, that's a first starter, and your wrist isn't going to be like damaged. So then I started explaining the rules to them and talking to him. We ended up getting into like these full games. So we had a great time. At the end, we exchanged numbers and we're like, hey, we'll have to see you on the court again. And through that relationship, we've continued to support each other in the tournaments that I play in. Like we were at the PPA in St. George, and I always make sure I'm over there watching them too. And it's that gets into the tournament world of things. Like that is a riot, and it's changed a little with now with the PPA and the APP and a lot of local tournaments. But
Mm-hmm.
I have met incredible people traveling all over. I traveled to like 7 different states, played in national tournaments all over, and I did really have a great time. And then when I went to nationals, it's like a reunion.
Right.
You see all these people that you've played against, and now you're friends, and I love that aspect of it.
Well, I talk about that a lot in this Pickleverse, right? The competition, absolutely. When you get out there on the court, it's fierce. Let's face it, we want to win. A lot of times we can get off the court and you see that camaraderie, this pickle community from the players, from even the fans, from the sponsors that are out there when you go to a tournament and things like that. I think it's really neat, and I think it's only going to continue to evolve, just the same as what you're doing now. And so let's kind of segue that back to a little bit, because you're working with the kids. It's all about the kids, right? In is the
Yeah,
Monster
love it.
Sport program. And so talk a little bit about what you're doing with them and how that kind of dovetails into your own teaching. And Riley, you touched on something, how you extensively before you were certified and really wanting to build your own, let's just say, teaching academy or teaching program is the best way to put it.
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah.
Talk also about your teaching style and how you relate to your different levels of clients and how it might be different from an individual to a team, sort of a lesson. I know I threw a lot at you, but only because you can handle it.
I can totally take it. I got it. I'm on it. So I would say one of the things that it's I kind of like it about me, but I also don't like it about me. And so it's like this weird dynamic. Like I have a fight within my own self because I really want to
I'm
be
having one of those right
amazing.
now.
Yeah, okay, let's there you go. See, I really want to be an amazing player. My background in sports, I did gymnastics. My dad makes fun of me because I was so excited I got third place. He just reminded me a month ago there were only 3 people in my division. So, but I played some tennis. I've had to work really, really hard to get to where I'm at because I don't have all those natural swings and the,
Yeah.
backhand. And I mean, I did slice drills for 2 hours yesterday. My training partner threw up on the side of Horizon. We worked so hard. It was 105.
What'd you do that to
So
her
I think
for?
when
Or
I
him?
him, sorry, it's him, and I stayed and played singles. By the way, after
Jeez.
I could handle it, but my
I couldn't.
approach, I do have a high level of empathy, and I think when I'm teaching people where it shines is because I can look at the breakdown of all these strokes and see how or why they're missing them and how to
Mhm.
fix it because I did those same things. It's
Yeah.
not like this is all natural to me and I'm looking at someone going like, you just go like this. It's just this. And so I feel like that's something I've learned, and so I feel like I'm good at it. The fight I have in myself is I think I wholeheartedly feel like I'm a really good coach, and I would trust coaching almost any level. I wish I was a better player. I think I'm a better coach than I am a player. And that's like a really hard thing. I'm not going to cry, but it's a really hard thing to admit because I want to be a great player.
Yep.
And, I might have some limited capabilities. I work as hard as I can, but I'm really excellent. I feel at looking at someone and I'm like, I can diagnose what's happening so quickly now. It's like within like they tell me what's wrong within 35 seconds of trying a shot. I'm like, it's right here. You're taking the ball instead of taking it out front of your body on your right knee, you're overextending or whatever it is.
Yeah.
So that's what I love about coaching. I guess I feel like I'm a fixer. I just realized
Okay.
this. I like to see something and I'm like, let's fix it. And when I see those results, it's like, I think it's like a dopamine release for me. I'm like, this is amazing. And
When
so
you
I
see
get a lot of
the
joy.
light go off, right, in the student
Yeah.
or in the group, and now it's clicking and we're repeating the right shot a few times. Talk about that a little bit, right? When you see that problem, whether it's in the swing, whether it's in the position, you mentioned paddle out in front a little bit ahead of that knee. What are some of the drills that you can, as a rec player or people who are listening, they might even be able to pick up with their friends and get out there and help themselves a little before they try to schedule time with you.
Yeah. Well, I would say actually one drill I just had yesterday. It's like people have done this drill before, and it's if you have a portable net. Okay. So you can take a portable net, which even if you buy, like the Franklin makes one that's like $40, a half court one,
Yep.
and you can put it halfway between the kitchen line and the actual net. So when you're working on your
Okay.
drop shots, you start to see like people are like, what's a good drop? Okay. So you start to see what's a good drop because a good drop is going to fall without the reach of the person that's at the kitchen line. And then the kitchen line people know where their reach is at. Like, how far out am I reaching to take these balls out of the
Yeah.
air? So you kind of place it back into that zone where they're able to practice the kitchen drop, and then the person at the kitchen line is working on keeping their paddle out in front. Because a
Yes.
lot of times, what's just happening with, I mean, I love teaching tennis players because they come in and they're like, I got this. And then they're like taking the ball back here. And so when you're forcing this kind of shot that's coming really short and they're getting their paddle like way out in front, not involving like the rotator cuff in the shot. I think the biggest thing I see is people taking the ball like back behind their
Mm-hmm.
body. And I did that. And I
Yep.
videotape a lot of my lessons because once you see yourself do it, you're like, oh, wait a second. I'm giving up time.
Mm-hmm.
I can't look at the ball. My shoulders are no longer facing the court. So,
And
what,
yeah,
yeah, when
I
I
find
go to,
myself doing that a lot. And that's from, I grew up playing tennis. I never played tennis in
yeah,
high school or really competitively, but my friends, we played tennis a lot, right? It was just something we could do. There were courts we could play on at high school. There seemed to always be tennis courts and we like to go play. And I'll get stuck. And next thing I know, I'm like, what are you doing? Why am I
yeah,
way the heck back here? This is pickleball, right? We got to keep it controlled, compact, and
yeah.
get that swing through there. And so I appreciate you saying that because I think a lot of people who are like you said there, if we've played tennis, even just as hobbies, recreationally, growing up, and a lot of people do, now they're finding pickle fever. They've got it, and they hop on the court and like, I'm going to dominate. Easy. No,
Totally.
there's a little more to it. There's just a little more to it.
I have like a favorite thing. I was teaching a clinic over at a hotel in Scottsdale, like probably 2 years ago. And this guy comes on. I wasn't doing the lesson. I was leaving, and he shows up and he's got like a backpack with his paddles in it. And the guy was like, "Oh, have you played pickleball before?" He's like, "No, but I played tennis." And I was like, "It would be funny if I walked onto a court to take a tennis lesson." Because they were like, he was like, "I got this, I know." If
Right.
someone, I walked on, I'm like, "I'm here for tennis." And they're like, "Oh, have you played tennis before?" And I'm like, "Yeah, I totally have. I played pickleball." Like they would just be so mad and they would just
Right.
laugh at me. I was like, they're so different. But they are so different. But yes, I love when my tennis, like working with them on getting them to stop pivoting for all the shots because then they're opening up the court and taking the ball
Mm-hmm.
too late. Um, but what I will say, I love. I'll bring into my junior program here. I do teach like all ages, and I love teaching all levels. Like I am the person that will go to Horizon Park, and if less I'm training, I'll differ. But if I'm not training, I will put my paddle in with wooden paddles.
All right.
I try not to put it in with a metal paddle because it's like painful to listen to, but I will do it because I really do like playing with everybody, like novice. I like to get into really highly competitive games, get some good blocking. But I've always had like I love doing my Girl Scout troop. I love doing Sunday school. Like I probably fall in like the teacher realm of people in general. And so the junior team, like when Monster Athlete approached me, and I was like, okay, it's going to be hard because I have to drop some of my private lesson time, which, as a single mom, financially, that's important for me.
Sure.
And it's kind of like an opportunity I couldn't, it's like a passion opportunity too. And Monster Athletes is the first ever junior club duper registered team in the world.
Wow.
And not only is it that, they have 18 teams in the Valley, and we have somewhere over like 130 players.
Yeah, did I see
And it's
130,
unbelievable.
I think? Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, we have Peoria, we have Fountain Hills, Mesa, Gilbert, Ahwatukee. I'm at Desert Ridge. We have three teams at Desert Ridge alone. We have a developmental, which is your beginner. I have a competitive team, and then Jackson Iote, who's a wonderful player. He's
Yep.
playing some pro events, and I've taught with him at the Marriott. He's a really great kid. He's doing the elite division, and those kids
Okay.
have already been competing in PPA and APP and national junior pickleball tournaments. So, I mean, it's really fun. Like, I love business development, like being ground floor and like watching things grow is exciting. And so it's kind of like I'm taking that part of business that I always loved and pickleball and youth sports. And I'm like, what is happening? This is amazing.
Here it all
It
is,
really,
right?
really, it is. It
Put it
is.
up in
And
that in the perfect blender for you, and there you go, right? We got the perfect Smiley Riley smoothie, business development, working with kids, working with adults, working in pickleball. And
yep,
trust me, we're going to get to working on cruises in Croatia pretty soon, folks, because that's another part of what
right.
she's doing that is so incredibly awesome. But before we do, because that's going to be so much fun,
Yes.
I mean, I can't wait to talk about it. And
Yes.
let's talk a little bit about state of pickleball. Okay, state of pro pickleball a little bit. Love to get your perspective. First, everybody's always talking paddles, paddles, paddles. Your own perspective, the hotness, the pop in the paddles. This one's not good. This one is good. For pro players, I think they'll get that sorted out. But do you see this as a detriment down at the rec level where people are learning the game, where maybe we get these tennis players who come in and think, I do have this. And it could get dangerous if we're trying to whip this thing and it's coming off the paddle pretty hot.
Yeah, I would say it's one of those things again, like being almost grassroots. Even though this game has been here since 1965, it hasn't been the same game as it is
No.
here in 2024, right? It is even what I was teaching like 2, 3 years ago. We were teaching all drop, right?
Yes.
Now it's like let's drive and go for let's do a fifth stop drop, right? Let's see if you can scare them enough with your speed the first time or get
Let's
a
take it
pop
out of the
up and then
air.
come in and stop. Yeah, and that was not like the coaching in the beginning was all like, this is how you do it. And we keep it really slow. Now there's so much power. I mean, most of my clients are coming to me and they're like, I need to not get killed at the court. Like, how do I not get the ball banged at me? And I tell them all the time, you have to learn to not hit an attackable shot. Like you have to learn to dink and hit soft shots. Not easy. So especially with these paddles. So I had a client maybe like 3 months ago, right before a banning of some paddle, and
Some
he
paddle.
was using it for the first time. I swear to you, like I missed a shot from him by like this much, and it would have just not like it would have left a hole in me. That ball dissipated, and I was like, "Dang!" I was like, how is that even allowed? That is absolutely insane. And then the next day, one of my dear friends, Danae, she has the All About Pickleball ATP or All Things Pickleball site. If you
Okay.
haven't looked at it, you should. She's just an unbelievable coach and she has a great presence. And I coached
Awesome.
with her in Cabo for clinics. She had done a piece about this exact situation. And I believe she's sponsored with Selberg.
Okay.
And she was like, hey, new paddle technology, great, but you put these in the wrong people's hands. And she got blasted at the park by someone who
Mm-hmm.
didn't know what they were doing. And like she could have like lost an eye.
Right.
And I think it's very hard to try and gain control over so much. Like I had a company that grew so fast that it actually like almost killed us because the growth happened so quick. We expanded so quick. And then to prepare for all of this like movement almost shut us down at one point because it just happened so fast. So I think if I get nervous that, it's like, how do you reel things in a little
Right.
bit and then come back? And then, people are like, well, this paddle does sound the same as this is the same. And it's like, there does need to be more limitations on these
Yeah.
because you need to keep it down to like skill level and not just this game will not be as much fun if it just comes to who can hit the ball harder.
Right.
You
No,
take
and
away the chess match of it.
thank you. And I think there's of course there's room for power. We all love it, but it's part of that of the game. The intricacy of the game is I got to drop you up. Let's get up there, right? Like when you were learning, get your butt up there. Why are you running up there? I'm like, what do
Right.
you mean? You told me to run up there for crying out loud. But I think
Yes.
that's the best part where we're dinking, we're cutting it back and forth. You pull me way over here. I can't get back in time, and boom. All you got to do is put it right down the middle. I mean, it's so
Yeah.
fun. And that power comes in. Ooh, you missed it a little bit. Now I can put it back there for sure because you might be good
Yeah.
enough to get over and block it, but I'm going to put a little pace on it so you put it down into the net because I'm trying to get it down on your
Mhm.
feet. That's I mean I always say deep in feet in pickleball, two good strategies.
Yeah. Pressure zone. Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah, and when you go to the courts, you're seeing these. They're still having fun, which is good. A lot of people would say like I don't want to go this part because they're too rough on me. They hit too hard, but it's like I do like to see points go more than 4 shots. So like I
Yes.
run leagues at Victorium as well with Dink all day on Mondays, and we have like a practice league, and then we have a duper league day. And so when we're playing there, like we did a drill last week where I'm like play a game but unless you get to 4 shots, you have to start over. Like, don't
Nice.
even try to win in the first 4 shots because you guys are only doing 4 shots. Like, you're not getting to the fun part. Like, the kitchen's the sexy part. Like, I
Yeah.
love the strategy of all that part. I'm like, you got to get to the fun.
I
And that's
agree.
where, like, where you could have, you may not be the very, very best, strongest athlete, but if you can start to chess match the game out and
Mhm.
pre set up moves, and if they're not going to come here, I'm going to go here. To me, that's where I have the most fun. I don't love, I mean, I can sit and block, but sometimes I'm not the best blocker. And then I'm like, well, that was a fun 10 minutes.
Right. Yeah.
Right?
There we go.
Yeah. So that's my take on the paddle thing. I think you need to game, you need to be specific. There needs to be no politics involved in it. You need to have a group that's looking at it that has no bias. And that's like the biggest thing I would
Yeah,
change it.
no, I think that's and that's kind of what we see. I talk to a lot of people who are kind of in there in part of, this group, that group, this clan or that clan as I call it, right? Because you got USA
Yeah.
Pickleball, you got UPA, you got this, that, and the other thing. If we could just get them united a little bit, because a lot of the goals are common when it comes to paddles,
Right.
some regulation of paddles, when it comes to getting the sport more eyes internationally. I think a lot of the people at the top of these things want that. Let's hope they can figure it out and do it. But what we want to talk about now is Smiley Riley Pickleball. You can go out there on the webs, get to the interwebs, SmileyRileyPickleball.com. You can see some cool pictures. Go
That's
on our
it.
Smiley Riley Pickleball. You can see some of these cool
Yeah.
pictures. One of the best
Yes.
pictures is the one right on your website of the guy going for the Ernie and falling off the boat. And so
Right?
what we're talking about is now this was your first foray into a pickle cruise and hopefully the
Yes.
first of many. And this is a part. Have we been doing picklecations before, or this is we're going to start doing these more? This is available now. It's now part of your program.
So I was doing traveling coaching before. So I was
Okay.
doing some multi-day clinics down in Cabo San Lucas, and then I did multi-day in Miami and Iowa, and then I
Iowa.
did some
Wait, time
teaching.
out.
I was.
How do we go
Does that
from
sound? I love Iowa.
Cabo to South Beach? Where were we in Iowa? Des Moines or something? I mean, how did that work?
No, I have an amazing client that owns a facility in Cedar Rapids, and he also plays out
What's
here.
it called?
And
Oh,
I
I'm thinking
can't
of the
tell
one in
you now.
I'm thinking of the
No,
one
it's
that
amazing.
no, I have a lot of
It
friends in
is
Iowa. A lot of friends in Iowa. It's just interesting.
It's Westfield Pickleball
Okay.
and Tennis Center. And it
Awesome.
is absolutely wonderful, but he's not shy about this. He's a car person. And when I went, I got to stay there, and it was in Cedar Rapids, and every day I got to drive a different car. So I got to drive a McLaren, a
Oh,
Lamborghini, a Ferrari. I actually
you're
have a
jumping
video in.
ahead.
Sorry, I have a video in a man cave that he has where I am hitting third shot drops over a Lamborghini,
Shut up.
like to make sure I had enough pitch on it. I never posted it because I was too embarrassed. Maybe I'll
Why?
post it now.
You should.
Maybe I'll post it.
What'd you
But
like
it was
better, Lambo or McLaren?
I like the Lambo. It was just like it was, but we actually road rally. We had all three. There's like 22 cars there. It was fun. But I have to go Lambo. Just like even the name and like the seats and like all. It looks like you're in like a pilot. Like all the
Yeah.
buttons. I was like, I want to touch this and this and this. It was really fun. So I did. I was traveling coaching, and then I would have clients that I would coach, like at the Marriott here,
Hmm.
or I coached down at Chilano Bay Properties in
Okay.
Esperanza and Cabo, and they were like, "I want you to come up." Like people in the Yukon were like, "Can you come up to our place?" And I'm like, "I can't go to the Yukon. I would love to." So then I was like seeing all these other opportunities, but I'm also a travel agent. And my mom is like in the top 25 travel agents in the United States. She's been
Okay.
doing charter group trips for years. She's been trying to pass business to me for a long time, but I've been very busy. As you know, I teach privately. I'm one of the head pros at the JW Marriott. I'm running Dinkle Day programming
I
and
mean,
this. So
good problem to have being busy and having to turn mom down
it
for extra work.
it is. And she's so, my mom's the most amazing woman in the entire world. I'd like to say that. Well, obviously I owe my life to her, duh. But no, she truly is a gem. She's amazing and she's done a lot for me. So, um, last year she chartered a similar boat through a different company. And when you do chartering, basically you can get these beautiful yachts that everyone is like thinks you're just this amazingly hugely rich
Baller,
millionaire.
right? Just
Yeah,
baller out
everyone.
there.
I mean,
Yeah.
the comments have been so amazing that I have read. And then you buy the boat essentially for the week, and then it is a lot of work because you're in charge of selling the rooms,
Hmm.
creating the itineraries, coming down. Like they provide you the menus, you're picking what you hope your guests are going to like. And itinerary planning is very difficult, especially like pickleball is growing in Croatia. They have a couple of clubs,
Okay.
but they don't have any outdoor courts except for on two islands. And then they have indoor basketball facilities. And then they convert in Markarska, this arena, they convert their tennis courts over. And so that's what
Okay.
they have. And they love it. And they are growing. Um, but so I had to create an itinerary for pickleball where they don't have pickleball. So
Right.
as I'm working through it, we're finding hotels. We found the Valimar resorts have great facilities. So we had to go through a lot to get courts set up. So I come up with this itinerary. I'm like, okay, let's find courts we can put in Korčula and maybe in Split, and we'll go see. Croatia's too pretty to just go there, and
Beautiful
interrupt me if I
country,
get off
right?
topic.
I mean, it's beautiful
Yeah.
country for people who think it's just like devastated from years of maybe bad stuff
Oh,
happening. It is a beautiful area.
it is. Well, and the thing is that what I learned a lot when I was there, I mean, they were in war from 91 to 95, I think it was. They love Americans over there. Like, they are so excited and they're so happy. It's also the second safest country in the world. It's a
Hey,
2% crime rate. You can leave your stuff. One of the girls left her purse outside
oh,
overnight
come on.
in a corner,
No big
and it
deal?
was there with her passport, money, everything. It's
Jeez.
and the
I
people
couldn't
are
do that at the corner
lovely.
store here in Gilbert.
No, no, you wouldn't. And like you rent like these $6,000 bikes to go bike for the day. They don't even give you bike locks. Like I was like, can I please get a bike lock? And they were like, why? And I was like, there's so many Americans here.
Right, somebody's
They
going to
were
take
like,
my bike.
yeah, I'm like, I don't know. I don't want someone to take it and turn in. And I mean, literally, it is so safe. And the water actually was just rated the cleanest ocean in the world. And it is absolutely that. So I fell in love with it when I went there. And I was like, I'm going to turn this into this pickleball one. So put in a lot of work to do it. I sold almost every room out by like February, but then they came to me with like this amazing announcement. Well, he sent me this message and he says, Riley, this is the head of the charter company. What do you think if we decided to try to make like a floating pickleball court? And I was like, well, I'm intrigued. I'm kind of curious because I had sent them over like schematics, like how would they even convert tennis courts into pickleball
Into
courts and all
okay.
that stuff. And I said, well, let me send you over some more diagram of like how much space you would need. So he sends me over some renderings, and I was like, "Oh, Z, that looks pretty cool. I think that looks great." So then he sends me that actually being built in the shop, and I mean, it's a hangar, and I mean, this is a full size with all of your sides pickleball court with attached walls that come up to my tiny short body's hip to hold the balls in. And he sent it to me. He's like, gosh, what do you think? And I was like, are you freaking kidding me? I was like, this is the bomb. I was like,
Let's
this is
do
going to
it.
be amazing. And so I sent it out to all the current clients and I was like, hey, by the way, and they were like, stop it. And then I did some posting with it. I only had like a couple of rooms left at the time. And people were like, are you kidding? The first ever floating pickleball courts to exist. And what I will say about it is fully functional. Like you have to squat to do it. Like it's a good leg workout.
Okay.
And there's a little bit of movement that it looks harder on the video than it was to play. I'll
Okay.
also tell you, for 2 days, we had paddles up to play. I only got to play 5 times because I was
Wow.
like, this is my charter. Like I need to let them play. Like
Right.
the ladies were like, your paddle wasn't up. Like your paddle, I was like, dang.
And how
But
many
we had
people were on the charter?
so it could take 30. I had 3 singles on the boat. So I had 27 guests, 11 staff.
Okay.
And those staff are, you wake up in the morning and they're like, here's your latte, Riley. Like they are the most kindest. Someone hits like at the end of the week, they say, can you like ask you to tip at least a minimum of $250 to the staff? And I had a couple people say, like, really, 250? I was like, trust me, you're going to want to throw money at that. Like, I
Yeah.
think some people left like 4 times that because they cater to you and they are nice and you never feel bad about it either. They're having fun. They told me at the end of the week, this was one of the most fun charters and that the week went by. And this was week 21 for them.
Wow.
And they have been going. Okay, this is the cool part. They get 6 hours off a week and they played pickleball in the saloon because I gave them paddles because they had so much fun. So
That is
let
cool.
me tell you a cool part though. The price of the cruise, it goes up next year because the boat's price is going up. But the room for 7 nights was like, what do you think it costs? It's 7 nights inclusive of 4 to 5 course meals a day, port charges, taxes, and this boat with your hot tub and your slide and pickleball and everything. What do you think it costs?
It was 7
Like per
days
person? Yeah,
per person,
yeah.
3,100.
3,400 is your starting price to go, and you have your per person with all of that included.
Wow.
So
I
when
was
I'm
close.
reading when I'm reading the comments and people are like, oh, just watching a bunch of billionaires do their thing. I was like, this is like a cost of Disneyland. I was like, it's
Right?
nuts. Yeah. Yeah.
Or let's say you
Everyone on the
wanted,
boat was,
let's say you went to, let's say you live here in Arizona and you went to
yeah.
USC and you want to take the family over to Coliseum for a big USC UCLA football game or something like
Oh,
that.
yeah.
What do you think you're going to spend?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah,
A couple
probably
thousand
more.
dollars.
Probably more than that.
Yeah.
Right? I mean,
Yeah.
so 3,400 per person. And again, hey, might sound like a lot, but let me tell you, it's something that people could save for, right? It's a doable vacation versus
Yeah.
you might think we're going to have to spend 10 grand a person to do this or something like that. So I think that's really
Yeah.
great.
It's not cheap. Like I'm not trying to like devalue. It's not cheap, but it's not out of reach. Like people kept saying, like, tell me you're rich without telling me you're rich. I was like, I'm definitely not rich.
She's
And the
loaded,
people
folks.
on there are, yeah, you're modest. You have to get your airfare over there. But the fact that you're on this like amazing yacht getting 5-star service like the
Right.
whole time and you're traveling like through these islands of Croatia, it was amazing. And what I love is that view. So it's Brad. He's a local here. He's going
Okay.
for an Ernie shot
Yeah.
because what happened is a couple people saw the video and they said, "Hey, we want challenge you to do an Ernie." So we're trying to be able to even do. I tried to do it, and I should send you the picture. I hit the side and like bounced back because I'm
What?
so short.
Like
I look
American
like
Ninja
Roberto.
Warrior style, like off of the.
Yeah. I look like the Spanish or Italian hurdler that was in the Olympics.
That
You know
missed.
that one. I don't look quite like him. I'll be honest, but I go backwards. I can't get all over it. And but so they challenged him to do it, and so he tried to do it, which he did do it. And as of today, it has 3.2 million likes.
Yes, great.
So I have my cup. Thank you for always liking my post. It says on my cup. But it was fire. It was so much fun. We had the best time. We had 4 days of pickleball, hiking, bike riding,
So awesome.
touring. So I do have more trips coming. I have two next summer. I think they'll sell out really
What's
quick.
the next
Uh,
destination?
I have to Croatia. I'm like, why reinvent the wheel? We're just going to make it even better. A
If it
little
ain't
bit different
broke.
itinerary. And then I'm working on one in Cabo San Lucas.
Okay. And then, will that be a
Yeah.
cruise or just a teaching trip type thing?
No, it will be it's going to be a combo of a teaching trip, like for the people that want clinic lessons and the people that just want to have a cool group of people to go play with. So it'll be an
Okay.
option to add. And let me tell you, this trip too in Croatia, I advertised it and I'll advertise it the same way, which is going to Croatia and playing pickleball. You
Yeah.
have optional, I did clinics like the day before we got on the boat,
Okay.
but if like you could take lessons here in the United States. Like Croatia's too pretty to go there and spend time on a court taking lessons. Like spend the time having fun. And so I didn't want it to be like come out here and spend 6 hours. We're going to work on this shot and this shot. Like you'd be looking at these like the palace from the 1200s. Like, but I want to go in there, right?
Yeah.
So yeah, more to come on that.
Awesome. So we can stay. People can stay up to date on that at the website. Go ahead. What's the website?
SmileyRileyPickleball.com, and I'm in the middle of creating a second one for the travel, but you'll be able to get to it from that landing page.
Right now, you can get to it from there. It's a nice, clean website. You can even learn a little more about Riley there. There's a little blurb there. And so, all
Yes.
right. Before now, you ready for the speed 'em up round? You ready? We're at the kitchen line. Little hands battle
Oh
here.
gosh.
I know you're ready.
Let me drink some more coffee. It's
You,
late, but
you
I'm
better
having coffee.
you better take some coffee in.
Okay.
Real
Now I'm
fun stuff.
sweating.
All right.
Okay.
All right. Here we go. So we already know next destination. We're going to stay in Croatia. If it ain't broke, don't fix it. So favorite
Right.
food.
Donuts.
Have you been to Austin, Texas?
No.
Next time you go. All right. Anytime somebody says donuts to me, I did a whole thing on donuts on my regular show. I love donuts.
Oh, I
And
love
so
it.
there's this place in Austin called it's just north, Round Rock Donuts, and they've got the Texas
Okay.
sized donut. Riley, you could put this thing on your stinking paddle and it would cover it. And so if you make it down there or Google it and check it out. So
Okay.
great answer. I love donuts too. Now, are you just an old fashioned glazed donut girl or do you like foo-foo donuts?
Boston cream donuts, and I
Ooh.
also like the maple with bacon.
Oh my gosh. Did you go to Bacon Fest a few years ago out at on the way to at the
No.
old Compton Terrace? No?
No, but
Oh
now I
gosh.
have like jealousy issues. I
I
wasn't
took
there.
my boys were younger. It was probably about 8 years ago or so, and Bacon Fest is incredible. As soon as you said that, all the bacon you can get your hands on, it was awesome.
Oh, that
All
sounds
right,
amazing.
yeah.
Yes.
Girls' night in is
A girls' night in my house, game night.
what do we play?
Well, we play cards. We play Michigan Rummy
Ooh.
and Boulder Dash. Boulder Dash is my favorite board game. Love it.
So are we Midwest? Are we
Yes.
from the Midwest originally? Before we got out here to the desert, we play any pinochle or we play any what's that other Midwestern game?
Sparkle?
Is that it?
I don't know. Left, center, right,
Oh,
bunko?
everybody
No,
loves
I'm originally from.
left, center, right.
That's a great one. It's very easy. You should be able to play it. But no, I'm originally from Salt Lake City, Utah.
Okay, all right.
Yes.
This year, will we have a Halloween costume?
I feel like I have to. Yes. But I can't think of what her name is right now, so I can't tell you who it is.
Who were you
It's
last year?
the last year I wore a shirt. Last year was the best costume ever. I was my daughter.
Not
I dressed up as my daughter
the good one.
because she's in Shelby. She's in 7th grade, and they are in like a strict school uniform. And I
Okay.
wore her badge and her white polo shirt and her skirt and the socks and the tennies, and I carried a lunch bag
That
and a
is,
Stanley.
yeah, that's adult appropriate.
Yes, it was perfect.
What's the
Yes,
music we jam in the house?
Zach Bryan. I love my country. I love the old school country. I also like really raunchy, dirty '90s hip hop.
Go for it. Who? We talk like
Well,
Two
I
Live
really like
Crew.
Eminem. No, not quite that
You
far, but
said
I like
raunchy.
the stuff. I know that's true, but it's some every now and then. But I do like some Eminem,
All right.
and I like all the '90s where you're just like I like big butts. Like my
Yes.
girls, I
Little mix
embarrass
a
them so
lot, little
bad.
rump shaker in
I've
there,
got some
right?
dance moves.
Yep.
Yeah,
I've
salt and
seen them.
pepper.
Salt
Yeah,
and
yeah,
pepper.
I've got great. Yeah, sometimes
I
I
love.
post them, but yeah, I get the salt and pepper dance moves in there.
I could
Yeah,
see you
some
pushing
mid
it. I
'90s.
got you. I got
Yeah,
you. Right. I bet you can shoot.
yes,
Oh
I
yeah.
think we've done that on Tuesday night, girls' night, pickleball night for sure.
Go to karaoke
Yep.
song.
Oh my gosh. Shania Twain, Any Man of Mine.
Last time you sang it.
I wish it was longer than it was. It was probably like a year ago.
Maverick or Iceman?
Oh, Maverick all day.
Good pull. Team Edward or Team Jacob?
Do I have to pick one of these? Can I pick like the hot brother? Like,
Sure.
there's got to be a different one. I
Do
can't
it.
do either of them.
Do it.
Like, cause Jacob's like Lava Boy for me. Like, I grew up as Lava Boy, and then
That's
Edward.
right. People forget that he was Lava Boy and Shark Girl. He was one of the
Yeah, I
kids in
can't.
Cheaper
He's
by the Dozen, right? I mean, they
yes.
forget about all that. I don't. But
No, and
yes,
then
you have to
Edward
answer.
almost ate his own unborn child when his wife was having a baby in the movie. So I can't. I
You could
can't.
take the
I
brother.
can't. I
I think
plead the
that's a
fifth.
new direction for fans. You go with the brother.
Yes. Sorry. I know I'm supposed Edward. Okay, I'll pick Edward.
I think you handled it perfectly. Don't go back on your instincts.
Okay, I didn't know if I had to. I didn't know if something would happen if I didn't.
No, you're not getting slimed. I don't have anybody in there.
Okay.
First concert.
All right.
First concert.
Two. Zoo tour. ASU Stadium.
Zoo tour. Okay.
Did I just age myself?
You want me to age myself? I saw you two when Bono fell off the stage in DC. What was that? Rattle and Hum. So
Oh, that's great.
it
Yeah.
might have been the
Right
one
before.
before that. I think it was the tour before that actually.
Wow.
So
Look
that's
at
good
you.
stuff. Yeah. Oh,
Yeah.
I've been to
Good
some
concert.
doozies, some good ones. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
All right.
It's a good one.
Marvel or DC?
Marvel. 100%.
Awesome. What would your
Yeah.
superpower be?
Disappear.
Like Invisible
Disappear.
Woman?
Like,
Yeah. Just
yeah.
that could be
Yep.
that's pretty sneaky too, right? I mean, if you're just
Yeah.
chilling, I hear you.
Yeah.
Now, I think we
Yeah.
kind of covered this one, but maybe not. I mean, we've been in the Lambo, we've been in the Maybach. What is your dream car, though?
My dream car, I will tell you, my favorite car was my minivan.
What kind?
I loved my no. I would love the new F-150 pickup truck. I rented it when I was in of all places. You know, the cheapest rental car they
Was
had
the
when you're
truck
in San Francisco, because nobody wants to pay gas prices. It
going up
was a
hills?
brand new, really nice truck. Like I'm an outdoor girl. I like camping. I want to pull a boat or something behind it. So mine is like a really nice, like with all the bells and whistles. I'm an AZ. Like my seats are heated on my Infinity. I need air conditioned seats with all the fun Apple CarPlay,
Does
all
your
that
car
good
start
stuff.
for you before you get to it? You got to already have it cooling off? The truck will.
It's kind of embarrassing. I've had this car for 5 years, and I just found out like
That it does
4 months
that.
ago that it does. Yep, it does.
Now, you're from Utah and you already mentioned first love, snow skiing. So I already erased the surf part. So if we're
Oh,
skiing, oh, go ahead. You
yeah.
want to surf and ski? Or would you go surf over ski?
No, definitely ski over surf. I've wake surfed before. I have tried to surf.
Ever
Actually, I've never
tried
really tried to surf.
ever tried
So I
windsurfing?
have no, but I feel like I would be like in a different, like I'd be at Catalina Island and no one would find me because
Yeah.
I would have like no
Turn
control.
into a hang glider?
Yeah, seriously, I've seen that. I've seen it look like that. Lake, someone was doing it Lake Pleasant when I was like, I love paddleboarding. Like that's one of my other
Okay.
favorite things to do. They had this like crazy tornado windstorm come through like 2 months ago, and I saw like person on their hey their windsurfing, and they like took off, and I was like, oh no no no, I'm not doing that. No, thank you.
Where would we go? Where would we go skiing if we're going to dream ski destination that you haven't been to?
I want to go to Whistler, or I'd love to go to like the Swiss Alps. But
Ooh,
within like, I would go to either of those. I'd be equally as excited to go to.
awesome. Had the opportunity
Yeah.
to ski on the Zugspitze, which is in the Swiss Alps. It's that highest one out there. You get your
Yeah.
passport stamped from. It's like a special stamp you get when I was a kid, just because
Oh.
we lived over there, courtesy my father being a naval officer. So it was pretty awesome. All
Oh,
right.
thank you to your father.
We appreciate
right
that.
there.
This is
Yeah.
a very difficult question, being that you live in a house with 3 daughters. However, I mean, you girls are tough. I know this. So, what's gonna maybe potentially freak us out? Scorpion, spider, snake.
Snake, and it's not a maybe. We did have a rattlesnake,
Oh
like
no.
a big one, at my house, and the fire department had to come and get it.
No
And it
shit.
was a western diamondback,
Oh,
and it was like coiled around my tires. And my daughter walked around the car, and I'll never forget the sound. I was on the other side. She was like in 6th grade,
oh my
and you
gosh.
hear that noise, like you never forget it. And I was like, "Do not move."
Oh yeah, go
And she
nowhere.
like she scooted back, and it was coiled at the tires. She like backed up, and they don't do this anymore, and hopefully no one cares here, but back then, because this was probably like 8 years ago or so, the fire department came, got it, and they actually cut its head off and took it the head because it's still so
They
dangerous.
can milk it.
And yeah, and then they left it was like 6.5 feet. They left it because I'm right by the horse ranches, and
Okay.
so they left it out there. And my friend, this girl Talisha, she's like drop gorgeous. You would never know. She's a champion hunter.
Oh,
She is like holds a record for like the longest long shot hunting. She drove over, went and cut the tail off, like scooped everything out and like handed my daughter. She's like, "Here you go." Like drop the rattle for her. So definitely snakes. Like spiders, we're all campers. I can handle it.
right. Right. Gotcha. Favorite place to go camping?
Well, I just did have, and that was probably one of the most amazing experiences of my life. I know they just flooded, and it's very, very sad. I'm glad I went when I went, but yeah, I would say, and obviously like Colorado, Durango, those areas,
Nice.
obvious.
Sure. I'll get you out of here on this one. This is a little thing I like to do. It's my version
Okay.
of who's coming to dinner. It's who's coming to pickle. So you got yourself, you got
Okay.
3 people coming on the court with you.
So
This
who
could
would be
be
if I played
anybody. Actually, I
tonight?
got a couple other ones for you. But let's get who's coming to pickle real quick. And alive, dead, entertainers, anybody.
Anybody I could bring to come play pickle with me? Oh my goodness. I have to answer this quickly. Well, I have to say, like, this will sound stupid. I love when my boyfriend comes and plays pickle with me because he does it
Okay.
because he cares about me. So that's very nice.
Oh,
But
heartstrings.
yeah, when he
Heartstrings,
does
people.
it, it's like, I know it's a really sweet gesture for him because he likes it because he knows I like it. Let's see. Gosh, I would love to get my grandma out there.
All
She
right.
was a Spitfire, like 4'9"
Okay.
fireball. It'd be great to see her.
Love it. One more.
Okay. Oh, one more person?
I think I need 4.
Oh, well, I was playing singles with grandma. I don't know why
Oh,
that's such an
we're going singles?
issue.
Oh, okay. Then Katie, bar the door. I mean,
Okay,
you said
okay.
Spitfire. I didn't know single Spitfire. All right, that's good enough.
Yeah. Yeah, okay, so let's see. I always feel like I have like this weird relationship with Elvis Presley because he died, right? I like wanted him to be alive, but I just missed the date, the cutoff. I think he's April and I'm November. So I'm gonna pull Elvis in there, and I have like a non-secret crush on Marshall Mathers, so my
Okay.
Eminem crush. So we'll just bring Eminem out there. Oh, I should get Jamie Foxx. He's playing anyways. Like, let's
He's
just get
huge
Jamie Foxx
pickleball
out
guy.
there.
He's huge
I
pickleball guy.
know.
And now
Yeah, yeah.
you answered the follow up in your answer because I was going to go celebrity crush and you told me Eminem. You know, he and I are like born, I think, like same day or like a day apart or something like that. I think I was the first
Yeah.
Eminem since I'm Mickle Moore, but then Marshall Mathers came.
Then he can. Yeah.
I think if
Yeah.
he
It's
and I
like an
had a
embarrassing one.
collab,
Like,
yeah,
yeah, you should collab. I don't even know if I still think it just is. I don't know why I was charmed by his like weird
he's
lifestyle.
good.
I haven't let that 90s, 80s grow out of me.
I product of the 90s right here. Hey, I have had a lot of fun and I hope you have had too. I've got Riley Palmer.
Yes.
She's Smiley Riley,
That's it.
SmileyRileyPickleball.com. Anything you want to plug on our way out?
You just say if you guys are interested in trips, let me know. I'd love to help you. And just keep having fun on the courts and be nice to all those newbies coming on there because those are a lot of people I'm sending that way. And that's it. Come visit us in Arizona. We have a great place
That's
here.
right.
Lots to do. So,
Get out here to Pickle Zona. If you're coming out here to vacation, you're staying up there at that glorious hotel at Desert Ridge, you might be able to find some lesson time with Riley herself. Thanks again so much for joining me. Make some time on Friday night, right? And if you would.
That's it. Here we go.
So
I said
much
the kids
fun.
Olive Garden. This is great.
That's right, right? So much fun.
Okay, you got it.
No, Riley, you got it. I feel like breakdancing or freestyling. That was so much fun. I appreciate you. Stay safe out there. Stay hydrated. I'll see all y'all right here next time for more